Thank you. TSMC is the preeminent company in manufacturing leading-edge chips at scale, and ASML is the sole manufacturer of extreme ultraviolet lithography machines, which are critical to building advanced semiconductors. Mr. Clark, how close is China to replicating and rivaling those capabilities?
I will be relatively brief in this. They are some ways behind of closing the gap on what you think of as the nanometer level they can reach, where TSMC and ASML combined are in the lead, but they have made substantial investments here, but multiple years.
Multiple years. You know, it should be the highest strategic priority of the United States to pursue AI dominance with the fierce urgency of the Manhattan Project. In the 20th century, the US and Nazi Germany were locked in a high-stakes race to develop the first atomic bomb. In the 21st century, the United States and China are competing in a new strategic arms race, the race for artificial superintelligence. And the first country to reach ASI will likely emerge as the superpower of the 21st century, the superpower who will set the rules for the rest of the world. Mr. Clark, what do you make of the Manhattan Project framing? Is that the right way to think about the AI strategic competition with China, or is that a false analogy?
There's an element of this which is a disanalogy, because the frontier of AI was sort of born by these private sector companies and is built today in the private sector. So we're not starting from the same place as with the Manhattan Project. But where it did get ideas right, which we should carry through, is the prioritization of the core resources for it being in the United States. We need energy here and we need compute here, because as this technology becomes more sensitive, we'll want to develop the most powerful systems here under the full US security umbrella.
Mr. Clark, can we win the AI race without energy?
Energy is essential, and without it, we lose this race.
So the AI revolution requires an abundance of energy on a scale and at a pace that we've never seen before. You know, China's emerging as the energy superpower of the world. When it comes to new energy capacity, China's adding the equivalent of a whole United States every 2 years. In 2024, China built 400 plus gigawatts of new capacity, compared to only 50 plus gigawatts of new capacity for the United States. When it comes to energy, China's outbuilding the United States by a ratio of 8-to-1. And yet at a time when the AI revolution has put unprecedented strain on the US energy grid, the present reconciliation bill, to be blunt, would all but repeal the tax credits for clean energy. According to an analysis by Politico, the loss of tax credits would endanger the nearly 800 planned clean energy projects that would generate over 156,000 megawatts of electricity, which is enough to power 27 million homes. These are staggering numbers. Mr. Clark, do you think it's wise for the United States to artificially restrict the supply of energy available to American AI at a time when we are engaged in a high-stakes arms race with the Chinese Communist Party?
We estimate that we need 50 gigawatts of power by 2027, and that suggests to me, by we I mean the AI industry, that suggests to me that you need to look at all options on the table and look at what it takes to get there. And I can't speak to the specifics of individual power sources. I can say that...
Do you know what percentage of new capacity in America comes from clean energy?
I do not.
It's 90%. So, and solar is the most rapidly deployable, scalable energy source, and it just seems deeply self-destructive for the United States to restrict the number of electrons available to the AI revolution. I have a question about the export controls. I know you're supportive of them, Mr. Clark. Do you think the export controls were properly designed when put in place back in 2022? Because I've heard concerns that even though the chips to which China had access had less computational power, it actually had more memory bandwidth than the best GPUs. So was that a fatal flaw in the original export controls?
Getting export controls right here requires us to have a greater level of technical staff in the Department of Commerce to both design these controls and also monitor them once in place. We're dealing with the most advanced technology that people make on the planet, and trying to control that will require us to, I believe, scale up the resourcing for the people designing those regulations and then monitoring compliance with them.
I see my time has expired.